Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Good morning, top of the morning in sunny California. You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live with nothing but straight talk. That's how we do it around here, folks, nothing but straight talk. My co-hosts are, I have three, Mr. Keith Swanson. You guys know you're still looking for him. They say, is he the AI man? Is he real? Well, you know, you can't hardly tell real from fake nowadays, because I tell you, these avatars with AI, it just leave you baffled. So, I don't know. You might wake up one day and look over at your mate and say, is this real or this AI?
Hey, one day you're going to answer the phone. I'll be doing one of those phone sales calls.
I know. It's amazing. Keith, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good this morning.
Good. All right. Shawannah, is the Valley Girl on? I don't think I see her posting up, but let's move on to Mr. Ricky Davis. Ricky, how are you?
I'm great. How about yourselves?
I'm doing wonderful. I know you're excited. You just had a new baby, your book baby, right?
It was released today.
Oh, my goodness.
All right.
It's on Amazon today. Yes.
Congratulations.
I'm excited.
Okay.
All right. What's the title of that book again, Ricky?
When a Mustard Seed Gets Heavy.
Ooh,
Poetic
wow.
expressions about life lessons and love.
Wow, folks, y'all got to get it. I read it already. That's one I got first-hand read of it. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, so it's going down, you guys. Black Writers on Tour plus Business plus Tech Expo going down Saturday, April 26th from 10 to 3 at the Carson Community Center at 801 East Carson Street. That's in Carson, California, Los Angeles neighboring city. So you don't want to miss it. It is, Ricky, it is buzzing. It is buzzing about Black Writers on Tour Business and Tech Expo. It's going to be the largest, the greatest ever. Because people now, they're looking to do business with people who look like them. And writers realize that they are under threat much right now more than ever before. We cannot be erased. Cannot be erased. So it's a time to write. And it's time for businesses to really step up so we can absorb some of the unemployment that's taking place in the community. But, so we are going to look at a very, very important topic today called gentrification. Gentrification is the silent killer of the Black family, the Black church, the schools, home ownership, and the community. It's a national emergency for Black communities. It's something that we can't ignore any longer. So let's get real. Let's get real, you guys. Gentrification isn't just about fixing up the neighborhood. It's about pricing you out of your own history. Underscore, pricing you out of your own history. Our communities are being dismantled brick by brick. Black business owners, some who have lived in these neighborhoods for generations, are being forced out by raising property taxes, deceptive buyer offer, predatory lending, Developers are coming in, slapping a coat of paint on a block, raising rent, and suddenly the people who built the community can no longer afford to live there. Is this
Mm.
progress? Somebody said, "What gentrification? It's progress." Is it?
Mm.
When the price, when the price is black families losing their homes, their wealth, and their legacy?
Mm.
Come on, folks. Is this progress? Does that sound like progress to you guys? What you think? Is that progress?
No, it's not. It's never meant to be.
Well,
It's never
a
meant to
lot
be.
of people think, well, in order for the city to grow and we need to change. Have you
Uh-huh.
heard people think that this is progress when they come in and tear down a whole bunch and build a lot of new stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's not just rent going up, folks. It's our families being torn apart, our churches vanishing, our children displaced from school, and our elderly being priced out of the very homes they built. Gentrification isn't just about real estate. It's not just about real estate, folks. It's an act of economic and cultural erasure. Wow. I believe that most people really knew the impact of gentrification, they wouldn't be as silent as they are. They would not. So this is not revitalization. You hear people, well, all they're doing is just revitalizing. It's not just revitalization. It's displacement. This is not progress. Again, it's erasure of culture, community, and generational wealth that you will never get back. Wow. What you guys take about this gentrification? Because most people really don't understand. I remember, Keith, when I was saying to
Uh-huh.
a group of pastors, I was
Mm-hmm.
saying you all need to be involved, take a look at what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
because it will impact your church. They couldn't see it. So now, empty pews, empty pews.
Yeah.
All because of gentrification.
Yeah.
So how do you see it, Ricky? How do you see gentrification impacting the black community? And should we be concerned? Or should we just be silent? They just doing what they got to do. They got to improve the city. They need more highways. They need more byways. They need more freeways. So the only way you're going to make the changes for modern day is to gentrify. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, I believe that, you know, it's really difficult to get our people to understand how the future really is not far away as it relates to where we're headed. And I think that educating our people and helping them understand what is at stake, it's really difficult to kind of switch and change their minds, because for so long we've been so used to going with the flow or being disenchanted by what we see as far as the prejudices and the racism and things of that nature. However, I just believe that we have to continue to build these concepts in our young people, because they're the ones that's going to be, making the moves in the future. But for right now, we need to start really helping each other. I think if you look at all the nationalities, all the ethnic races, they all help each other. We're the only ones that don't really help each other. We will take from each other, steal from each other, sabotage each other, but we won't really support each other. And I think that's one of the things that we have to see a reversal in, because until we can be united and come together and work together, it's going to be very difficult to try to get our people to follow suit of what everybody else is doing as it relates to, their communities and building something which legacy is going to be guaranteed, because you are basically not just building for yourself, but you're also building for your generations to come.
And part of this impact with the gentrification, like I did a workshop last Saturday, and my topic was, don't sell Big Mama's house. There will be no more land. Don't sell Big Mama's house. So one of the issues that takes place, they come into the neighborhood, which amazed me. oh, we have a cash buyer. So what? I'm going to get the cash. I don't care how you buy it. The money is going to my account the same way. But it's something about that. It's an all cash buyer. Tend to make people think, particularly if they're not doing well financially, they want to sell a house. And there's a little kid say on the block, little boy say, where y'all going to go? They don't think it out. You know, it's interesting. What's your take, Shawannah? Did I hear Shawannah?
Yeah, you heard me. You know what's destroying us is Prop 19. We got to bring up that again, because what's happening is, yeah, Big Mama's house is available. We do have Big Mama's house. But people that really can't afford, the children or the grandchildren that really can't afford to pay the property taxes that has now went up from $1,000 to $10,000, and the insurance that now has went up, and the non-paying tenant or the property needing work and things, it scares them. And, you know, we have to make plans for those people that inherit the properties, that want to keep the properties, to really show them a way how to keep the properties, because there's definitely a way. But Prop 19 has really destroyed the properties being held by the children to grandchildren. It doesn't hurt spouse to spouse, but it does hurt children to grandchildren, and that's normally what is done, is the properties are left to the children and grandchildren. But we have to put out classes that will help these children and grandchildren that acquire the properties, teach them how to keep the properties, how to take care of the property, and how to work with one another, because sometimes it's owned by a few brothers and sisters, siblings, and they don't want to hold it together. They want to just sell it, and they don't want to keep it. But yeah, but if those that want to get their part out, figure out a way to pay them out. Here, this is what you can get for your part, and keep it. You know, I think that's really a main thing. I mean, you look at Crenshaw Boulevard. Crenshaw Boulevard is like a night and day difference from back when I was growing up to now. I mean, those are actual properties that were owned by our black people, and now they've been torn down. They're like 5 stories high, and you know that it's not us that own that. And what happened was, there was another proposition that came out that increased any properties that's worth $3 million or more, increased the taxes immediately on it. And how many people were hurt? How many people were hurt? I mean, we have to really be careful about what we're doing. It's very important to watch what we're doing and to get together as a team. I mean, we can make a Black Wall Street. We can support one another, but we have to stop wanting to be crabs in a bucket and pulling each other down. That's it.
Well, one of the things that happen, if the house is passed, the property is passed to a child, the child have to move in that property. If the child does not move in that property, that's where that tax is going up, and that is really hurting. But when I talk to people, I don't sell Big Mama house. I have to give the solution. You know, if one of you all have to go in together, or it may be just one child. So what I'm saying, well, then you got 3 bedroom, rent 2. Find a way to keep Big Mama's house. That's the premise that I come from. Find a way, and that's critical. Find a way. We look around here 10 years from now, things doesn't change. It'll be very few black folks in the inner city of Los Angeles, and not going to be any more land. So don't think you can come back. You know how you run away child running wild? You won't be able to come back. So it's important for us to take a look at, and I think we have to look at it as a whole. Gentrification, it impacts everything. How it impacted the church. Have you noticed that the pews are basically empty? Business, the average person in a small business cannot afford to have a conventional place to rent. That's why I'm really happy that I have an incubator spot. We have 4 businesses in here, and it's called Anchor. You know how you have a mall that say you need an anchor store?
Uh-huh.
But that's what we have right here. When people come in and do copies, they see, oh, they do taxes, they do uh, live scan and fingerprinting, they do trust, they sell books, they
Mm-hmm.
have products. So everybody is winning from the same customers. And that's what we're going to have to look at now in face of gentrification, because the average person cannot afford a
Uh,
commercial rental spot by themselves.
mm-mm.
Wow. Let me give the number out here. It's 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. If you're at work and want to chime in, don't want them to know what you're talking about, you can email us here at innerlight, I-N-N-E-R, innerlightradio@yahoo.com. That's innerlightradio@yahoo.com, and 310-928-7723. Hit us up and let us know what your take on gentrification. How has it impacted you, your family, your church, your business, your schools? It's not a plaything. I think we have a caller. If not, go ahead, Keith, and tell me what you think that we can do.
No, you've given the answers. You're going to have to hold on to your homes, okay?
By any
Uh,
means necessary,
by any
right?
necessary, yeah. Because I mean, really, we're in the United States. Can you really move? Okay, that you have a
Right.
job. Because the
Mm,
biggest thing is in Los Angeles and places like the city is because this is where the jobs are. It's not just because you need a place to live. You can live any place in the country. But the thing is, why are you here? You're here because this is where the jobs are. This California is the tech state. So if you work in tech or something associated with tech, you got to be here. That's why you're here. And because of tech, money is drawn here. That's how come you're here, and that's why it's so expensive. Is because you're drawing money here. Um,
right.
the thing is that um, you got to realize it's not just it's your businesses, it's your lifestyle, it's your schools, it's also politics, which is where it started. Okay, because your political powers get broken up if your district becomes like in Los Angeles, your districts are Latino now. Okay, so
Yeah.
as far as Los Angeles, it's watered down. You don't have political power in Los Angeles anymore for the most part. So once people like Maxine Waters retires, you really don't have any political power in Los Angeles anymore. So that's like if you had that kerfuffle in your city council. I think it was, what is it, 3 4 years ago,
Yeah.
with those slurs. Okay, that's what comes out of you moving out of your city, uh, uh, out of your land grants, right? Really, Los
Yeah.
Angeles is your land grant. People
It
don't
is.
realize. You can, you can move to Dallas, you can move to Austin, you can, whatever the thing is. But the thing is, you're breaking up your political power. You're breaking up your schools. Okay.
Right. And that's what happened
Good.
when I mean,
Mm.
it was a kind of design before
It was.
gentrification to start, send your kids to the valley, they get a better
Yeah.
education. They went
Yeah.
out there and they put them in remedial classes, not in the
Yes.
regular classes. So
Yeah.
that was the beginning
Mm-hmm. Oh,
of,
yeah.
and then
Mm-hmm.
families felt more prestigious. They moved to Moreno Valley.
Yeah.
Again, was
Yeah.
deserting, abandoning the city, and
Mm-hmm.
we're reaping the repercussion
Mm-hmm.
of that now because they can't come
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And
But
even in Texas,
once,
I
yeah.
understand that houses are going up so high now
Yes.
because a
Yes.
lot of our people are fleeing to Arizona,
Yes.
Texas,
Yeah.
trying to get away because they
Mm-hmm.
can't afford to stay here. And
Mm-hmm.
you would think when your kids go away to go to college, they used to look forward to coming home, buying a
Mm-hmm.
house next door to you or around the
Right.
corner. That's what
Yeah.
family is all about.
Yeah.
But whoever thought we'd be looking at the fact that your child cannot stay in the same city that you live
Right.
in. And
Right.
when they go, the grandkids go. So now
Mm-hmm.
here you sitting, your kids, when you get older, they're not here to help you.
Yeah.
Grandkids
Right.
are not here to help you. Folks, this is a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. You now your neighbors don't look like you anymore. Okay, which can be good or bad. But the thing is that that power that power that we have from having community. Okay, the power that you have that your kids had when they went to black schools. Okay, the power that you
Wow.
had in community is gone. So like I said, and like Dr. Rose said, it affects everything. It affects your family, it affects your businesses, it affects your schools, it affects it affects the the look of the neighborhood, it affects your political power, everything. So basically, it's your home base, and like I said, in my opinion, it was done intentionally. It's not a random act. You know, even
Well, it
going back
really
to
hurt.
civil rights. Go ahead.
It really hurt the black businesses because
Yes.
you know how we would always learn that people do business customer like within 5 miles reach.
Hmm.
So if you that doesn't work for the black business anymore because they're not 5 mile reach. They moved to Lancaster,
Hmm.
they moved Pomona, any place,
Hmm.
versus rather getting out of Los Angeles. That's a
Hmm.
great business impact. So that's why I stress with some of the seminars that we're doing at Black Writers on Tour,
Yeah.
doing business while black. We talk about the fact that if the United States can do business with China
Hmm.
and other countries, what prohibit black folks from doing business with anybody, at least in the United States? Why can't I buy products from you in Memphis?
Yeah.
Why am I not ordering shoes that you're making in
Hmm.
Georgia? We're gonna have to step outside of the box and understand
Yeah.
what we must do as a whole to survive.
You got to remember, okay, things like it's something I experienced, right? The thing is that say when your kids grow up and they have children, right? Okay. Now the old way is okay. You need child care or you need babysitting or something like that. Your auntie, your mama, your sister, your brother are all within a mile or two radius. Okay, so if the child need to be picked up from school, need to be fed, need to be cared for, somebody within your extended family could actually reach out and get that child and take care of it instead of you spending $400, $500, $600 a month, for daycare. You didn't need it. Okay.
Right,
You didn't need it. Why?
right,
Because you had extended family. But when you move out to Moreno Valley, you move out to the East Valley, um, 80 miles away, they can't help you.
right.
They can't help you
We're
because
gonna
they're not within a 5 minute drive anymore. Okay, they
right,
have to drive 2 hours to get to you.
absolutely. That's why
Mm.
we're gonna have to move as a unit.
As a unit,
When I
yes.
say move as a unit, the business, the church, the schools, the community, we're gonna have to come together and say, how do we move as a unit? Because everything that either one of us do have an impact on the other one. So how do we come together in these critical times versus thinking it's just me suffering over here? It's impacting everybody. So we have to figure out how we move as a unit, how we get this thing done. And I was saying to a group of real estate people that every time a house, they told me, you always thinking radical. I said, okay, out the box. Well,
Hmm.
Keith, what I said is that
Hmm.
every house that come available in our communities, we need to find a way to buy it.
Hmm.
I don't care how many people have to go together, then we can rent it out. We cannot lose all of these houses because if a house become available, these investors buy a house right next to yours and
Right.
put 6 units, 6 to 8
Hmm.
units, right
Hmm.
in an area that tradition has been residential. Now they're turning into a
Hmm.
rental property. And people took pride in the fact they wanted to live in a residential area where it wasn't
Right.
a lot of apartments. So that's what's happening now. I spoke to one of the ministers in this city. I said, you all, the church, when I said move as a unit, we all got to be thinking about how do we survive this gentrification. There's no reason why churches can't buy up some of this property. Am
Mm.
I right?
Yes. Yeah, that's
They
true.
should buy it up, keep
That's,
it,
yep.
and
Right.
rent it.
Yeah, I mean the Latinos do it all the time.
Buying
Yeah.
houses.
Buying houses. They find a way to put one of their relatives or somebody to buy that house because they want to keep their enclave intact. Yeah, they do.
But
Well,
again, it goes back to keeping it in the family.
Yes.
They get together. They put their money together, their resources together. They buy property, and yes, they do sacrifice. Like, let's just say they start off with one property, they'll
Right.
have like several people living in there, and then once they get that rhythm going, then they'll buy other property, and they'll put other families. So they keep it in the family because
Yes.
they know that they can pass it down the line, but also too that gives them value, and it gives them the ability to buy other things. And so, like I said, if we could just get to a place where we understand that concept and stop being so selfish and so stubborn, or just only thinking about self, then we can basically make things a lot better. And it's just, like I said, it really starts with the education and just really helping our people understand these are the pros and the cons. And if you want to be better, you have to do better.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting, Ricky, because we was talking about how important that is for our churches to get involved and start doing, work outside of the walls of the church, because these are your members that's going to be homeless. These are people who paid tithe to you for 50 and 60 years, and now they are 75 and 80, and somebody's selling that apartment that they're living in. You guys haven't seen homeless yet. You wait and see. I'm talking about among the elderly. You're talking about fixed income, and you've been in this house 15 years, 20 years, right, Shawannah? Rent has been low because the people love you. You've been there.
I see it all the time.
You're elderly, but now they die. Them kids want some money. Come on, somebody. They're going to sell that house. Where Big Mama going? Big Mama going in the street. It's going to be a whole lot of Big Mamas in the street.
It used to be Big Mama would just transition and move her children into the house. Okay, so she would have, she would provide, child care. She provide, all kind of other little services and stuff like that. That they would have to pay for, and she would get help from her children. And they would, so as she transitioned, the house would just transition to her children. That's what it that's where it is in most most societies. Okay. Instead of putting Big Mama selling her house, and then she moving to a senior citizen's home where nobody knows her. She's in a little apartment by herself. Okay, but the thing is, we don't, we want our privacy. We don't want Mama in our business and all that kind of stuff.
And we want to walk around naked, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want to see yourself naked. Go Swanson, sit down with that mess.
Well, now it costs, It costs, and we don't. So there's no legacy. That's where your generational wealth goes. Okay.
But you know what's so sad, you guys, is how gentrification is impacting the Black-owned business. Let's talk about that.
Oh yeah.
That's real. Keith, you guys know where the fish market was on 79th and Van Ness used to be Big Red, and then they sold
Big
it.
Red, yeah.
Do you know what that is now?
It's a Mexican restaurant, yeah.
Sit down. Sit down. See, other people, I don't understand how Ricky, you can help me with this one. How we sit in the neighborhood and we can't see what other folks see. They can come in, they see, look, wow, we don't have any sit-down restaurants in here. And one right across the street, Keith, right on the west side of Power of Love, going to be a restaurant there. How can they come in and see what we can't see and open up the business, and that place is packed out as we speak with Black folks? Why we couldn't?
It's called fear. Fear, being scared of the unknown, not knowing if they can handle it, and they can. Not knowing what God put inside of them. We got to just tell them, let them do it. We got to show by example.
Your greatest
I think
fear,
Dr. Rosie,
your greatest fear for Black folks should be, will my children or my mother be in the street in the next 10 years? That ought to be your fear. That should be your greatest fear based on reality.
Dr. Rosie, you're talking about the elderly. You're talking about the elderly being homeless. I've seen so many elderly ladies going up underneath the freeway, and I'm devastated when I see. I'm like, where are their kids? Where are their family members? There's no way that an elderly person should be going in the street. There's something wrong with that picture. There's something wrong with it. And the thing that's wrong with it is we're not stepping out of our comfort zone, and we're staying right there thinking, okay, things are going to change. But things don't change. You have to change. You have to make the difference. You have to say, you know what, I'm going to take these small little steps because it's going to lead you to the great big step anyway.
Wow. Well, you know what? I think what people better to start doing, if they got any little property space left on their lot, you're going to have to put something on it so another family member might can live. In fact, there's a young lady out here, Shawannah, you'd be happy to meet her. She reminds me of you. She builds ADUs and many houses from these containers. And I saw them, the one that she's done. She's doing one out here. She lives in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
She go across the country. She get contractors, people wherever she land. And she told me she could do that within did she say 6 weeks or 2 months? She can have it ready for somebody to live in. We got to get creative. You're going to have to, maybe you might have to put ADU or something else, not just because you want to rent it out, but even for a family member. Otherwise, we're going to have to get back to putting a house out there. You know how the wealthy had the little house for the maid or for grandmama? We're going to have to think outside the box. All I'm saying is trying to get people to understand we can no longer think like we used to. We can't do business. It's not as usual. So we got to understand, folks, that we got to do something different. When you're sitting in a city, it makes me sad when I think of all the black businesses that's gone. That means last week I said that 45% of black folks own their own home in this country. That means 55% of us are buying homes for other people. So when all our businesses are gone, then here we go again. We are the greatest national gross product. Black folk, you are product. Because when our businesses disappear, who are you feeding? Come on, y'all, talk to me. I know you all see it too. I'm not the only one see that. We are taking care of everybody but our own people. When you gonna breastfeed your own damn baby?
Yeah, with the stair step for other groups. They intentionally
everybody nursing off of your breast. When you gonna give your baby some milk? I'm about to get mad, so y'all better take over. Y'all better go with it. Go ahead, you guys. Come on, Ricky, you guys. Let me cool down.
You're right.
It's you know what, it's you said it. You have to start taking care of your own. And like I remember Keith had said something weeks back, and he was talking about how we were talking about marriage, right? And we were talking about no one is really teaching people how to be married and how to stay married. Well, no one is also teaching people how to be parents. You know, no one is teaching people how to take care of their responsibility in their own. And so you have a lot of loose ends that are in the community, and you have babies, babies having babies. And then once the babies are here, then the aunties and the grandmothers are taking care of the babies while the actual parents are still trying to figure out life. So you have so much, disconnect that it's kind of like if they can't take care of the basics and the fundamentals, they're definitely not open to a plan as far as for their own life or for their own families. And so I just think that because the black family is so it has so many parts, missing parts, that it's kind of hard to get these young people to understand responsibility and accountability. Because if you're responsible, then you're going to handle your business. Yes, we understand you might have gotten pregnant before you wanted to, but that doesn't mean that you still can't finish school and get a job, because you and I, we all know on this line, we've known people that have gotten pregnant, got 2 or 3 degrees, and have a great job, all because they were determined to not feel the stereotype, and they were determined to not let that setback to keep them from being successful. So I just think that if we can start to really encourage these young people that, listen, hope is not lost. You know, you still have an opportunity to turn it around. You still have an opportunity to be better. Use your setback and your bad choice as an example of motivation to move forward. Because once you do that, then it's going to then develop a wave for other people to follow you. But you have so many people in this generation, they want to be followers more than they want to be leaders.
Right.
And so I just think that once we change that mindset, we'll be able to at least make some noise.
Well, that's why in one of my commercials, I talk about for Black Writers on Tour, plus the Business Expo and Tech Expo, I use the statement, if our children can see it, they can be it. I'm going to repeat that.
Yes.
If our children
Amen.
can see it, Shawannah, if they can see
Yes.
Shawannah out there tearing it up in real estate, moving
Yes.
mountains, buying houses across the U.S., if they could see that, that's why it's important for people when you have events, expos, take your children. They have never seen, they have no clue of the different businesses
Exactly.
that people look like them are doing. Because people tend to want to do what they see other people. That's why they want to play ball.
Exactly.
They see successful ball players. That's why they want to be preachers. They want to be pastors. Okay? Because that looks
Right,
good
exactly,
to
because
them.
that's what they see.
Yeah, they don't
Right.
have to have any qualifications. They see the minister. They admire them. They want to be, they want to be what they see. Folks, let
They
them
do.
see electrician. Let them see roofers with their own company. Let them see handymen. Let them see doctors. Let them see my sponsor, Dr. Bill Relaford. Let them see the black man who owned the largest farm in the county of Los Angeles. I wish I could take a busload. I'm going to find a way to do it. Shawannah, give me some money. I want to take a
See,
busload,
there she goes. She's going to
a
find that way.
busload of these young people up to that farm. It is mine.
That would be
250
nice.
acres. 250 acres. The collard green, oh my God.
So
You
good.
got, they need to see the Dr. Relevant. Okay? They need to see, they got, if they see it, they can be it. If they just sitting around only seeing people at their schools. So for all I'm saying, you need to drag those. Let me say, I don't want to go to no expo. It's not what you want. See, that's the problem right here. Let's put a pin right there. You're letting young people have too much say-so about something they don't know. How many of you, your parents have made you go someplace and you were so glad after you got there?
Yeah. You take them to church, and you
And,
don't ask them.
and
their
you know what
permission.
it's called? It's called supporting. It's called supporting as well, supporting one another, checking out what you may not have seen if you hadn't went there. There's so many things to see there. I mean, so many people have books that you wouldn't have even ran across if you didn't go to the Black Writers on Tour. And excellent classes. Everything is absolutely amazing, and it's for us.
And you see,
It's by you for us.
All these people on the floor doing business, your kids would have a second look. We had gardeners there who had their gardening business. This year we have a construction guy that's going to be there. We have someone who, when you might can use him, Shawannah, like whenever somebody move and you need to move out, get the stuff out of the house. You know how people leave stuff behind and that kind of stuff. They do all of that. Black folks are doing everything you can think of. We have at least 2 medical doctors that's going to be there. My daughter, she's an OBGYN. In fact, she's unveiling her new book. We have a doctor from Michigan. He's an OBGYN. He's going to be there. So we got folks from every different industry. I'm going to say it. If your children can see it, they can be it. That's important. So you want to drag them out there. Don't let them tell you, I don't want to go. You know, I'm sure you do things for them that you don't want to do, but you do it, right? You guys give us a call. It's packed out there. I'm looking at the board. It's packed, but everybody just listen. I guess it's like sometimes, when you go to church, you just want to listen. You don't want all them people jumping up, standing in the front of you, clapping. Anybody ever been in that position? You ever been at church and you say, I wish y'all would sit down somewhere? Well, maybe I'm talking to folks who don't even go to church. Y'all don't even go to church. I don't even know why I asked you all that question.
Are you going to church every week, Dr. Rosie? Or
They
no,
don't
tell
let me. They've been kicking me out. Shawannah. I have to tip in and see them out welcome, But
you know what? You be talking facts, talking truth. They should let you come in with open arms. And say, you know what? I'm going to put a class for you, Dr. Rosie. They should be like, no, we need this. We need Dr. Rosie. Sometimes you have to talk facts.
It's interesting, but since you mentioned that, Shawannah, you brought up Proposition 19. Right now, we're getting people to put letters together to write to their political people because we can't get it done with getting petitions like we did before. Because if you don't have the money to pay the people who are getting the petition, and you got volunteers, and we can't get enough signatures, we waste a lot of time. We need our politicians. We need legislators to make this a law. We got to get rid of that Prop 19. So you're absolutely right. People are going to be losing homes right and left behind that. Now, who could help do this any better than the church? Somebody needs to say amen now. Because all you got to do is tell the people, everybody write to your legislator. Do you see how powerful that could be? So when you understand, when these people lose their homes through Prop 19, they're no longer in your city. You have just lost your income base.
Yes, you did.
Maybe that's what I'm going to have to go up there and tell them, right?
Yeah, you lost your market. Basically,
you lost your market.
Shawannah knows, basically, you need a market. A buyer or a seller is no good without a market. You have to have a market. And the market is known people that look like you. That's your base.
Other folks who move up in here, they're not coming to your church.
No, they're not.
You have lost your base.
You lost your base, yeah.
When we talk about the business, the impact on black-owned business with gentrification, skyrocketing rent. Have you all noticed, Ricky, I don't know, I think you in Gardena, right? Are you in Gardena?
I'm in Lawndale, which is right next door.
Yeah. Well, have you noticed, I don't know about there, but here in L.A., drive down Western Avenue, enter these streets now and see how many black vendors are selling on the street. Have you seen it?
No.
That's a whole clothing store. Shawannah, Valley Girl. Valley Girl. I want you to come to L.A. and just ride down. You know where my office is. Right on the corner of Manchester and Normandy is Louisiana Chicken. They have 5 different businesses sitting in the front of that store. One got a dress shop. Somebody else is selling some oil. I'm not lying. They have created a mall, mini mall. Well, they get a lot of customers now because they pack out in that place like the Africans on the slave ship. They pack out. So.
If you go to the developing world, this is very common. You go to Africa or Latin America or even Asia, you see this a lot where you see street vendors. Yeah.
But blacks got it going on because blacks usually didn't do that. But they're there by default now because they really can't afford to be in a traditional business.
When we decided, guess what black folks have always done, okay? And you know this, Dr. Rosie, okay? We might not have started, but when we get in, we take it over because we do it better.
I wish we take over buying these houses. That's what we need to take over.
Yeah, that's a mindset. That's a mindset.
Yeah. Business being forced out by developers.
Yeah.
Developer often exclude.
BlackRock.
Yeah, BlackRock. Which
BlackRock is buying everything. They're buying Palisades. They're buying Altadena. They're buying everything right now.
which is something. Believe it or not, we don't know we hate Republicans, but Republicans is really impacting their base, and Republicans are trying to push through rules that force BlackRock to limit or sell off a lot of their properties to put it back on the market. So, and the thing is, we don't spread that. We don't spread that kind of information because there are people in Congress right now, on both sides of the House, okay, that are trying to develop and push these kind of laws too. But things we're not getting behind it, which we should.
We need to. I mean, our governor is not behind it. But he was advertising BlackRock.
Well, you know how it is about. You know what that's about, Shawannah. I don't have to tell you what that's about.
Just being, they're trying to take over everywhere.
It's money. Money talks, okay. But the thing is that the thing is, what beats money is people. And people saying money, money does not control anything. People do, okay. Money only controls things when people refuse to do anything because it doesn't believe when people want to move, money doesn't matter.
Well, with the impact also of gentrification on the black business is the loss of customer base.
Yes,
Same as the church. Yeah. The loss of customer base, the community that support the business is displaced. New residents. Now, okay, when they are replaced, who comes in? How many in your neighborhood? I ain't talking to you, Valley girl. I ain't talking to you. How many blacks do you see that replace when the house go up for sale? How many of you see blacks buying most of those homes?
You don't.
We don't. We don't.
So now the residents are no longer black, eroding the income and long-standing relationships.
Yeah, you notice there were very few street vendors before when the neighborhoods were black, okay, and then street vendors used to almost be illegal, right? Until you had a big. We used to
talk about the other folks who run the corner selling oranges.
Oranges, stuff like that. But remember,
and now they're in the stores. They got the markets, they got the laundromats, they got the restaurants.
But the thing is, what I want to point out is when they got a base and had a political base, okay, guess what they forced the laws to change to? Okay, they forced the laws to allow what? Street vendors, okay?
Yeah.
In other words, things being in their place. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I remember when they took black folks stuff who were trying to sell on the flowers for Mother's Day and Easter. Yeah. When the Lakers won the game back here, been probably 20 years, whatever. My son was selling Laker T-shirts. Remember how everybody was on the corner selling shirts? Police rolled up on them. Rolled up on him and
walking
took
up to shirt. Walking up to the car.
Yeah. I went over to Inglewood Police Department. I said, "You guys," and I called the mayor. "You can give me my son's stuff back because they're gonna take him home and give it to that kid to sell it." But I'm just saying, these are the things that we are gonna have to look at. How can we make it? Because when you get a rainy season, you can't be on the street. And this is not what I want my grandkids to see is black folk got T-shirts hanging on the fence. That's not what I want. I don't want them to think that all they can do is be on the corner with their clothes, setting up a store with their man. I don't need, but that's what these kids see in this community. Right. They're not seeing not one black doctor's office, not one black doctor's office or attorney office is in this neighborhood. They need to, if they can see it, they can be it. So we got to change it, folks. We got to, where is the power? Let me ask you all that question. Ricky, where's the power? Where's the problem? Who can do the most about what we're talking about? Just go ahead and be honest, because I'm going to say the black church. They don't want me to come anyway, so I'm just going to talk about them like I want.
The thing is, we think the black church is a building and an institution. The church is people. And without people, there is no church without people. That's the problem. And then I don't know where we got this idea that the church was this institution that's from on high and it stood by itself. No, the church is, Jesus said from the very beginning that you are the church, okay? The church is not a building. You are the church, and if you let your church members get dispersed, the church no longer exists, and that's the
We're three or
problem.
more
We need to
forms.
reverse those thinking, and we need 3 or more form. Yes. Okay.
And
And you got.
keeps the church.
I'm sorry.
Schools were started in the church house. My oldest sister, she never went to a regular school. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she went to a regular school later, but they
Mm-hmm.
started in the church house.
The
Black
original. The original.
black churches built
Uh,
hospitals. We own
yeah.
56 hospitals in
Mm-hmm.
this country.
Yeah.
Okay? Black people don't even know that. Black folks built
Mm-hmm.
hospitals. They had their own hospital. You all heard of Mount
Mm-hmm.
Bowel, Mississippi.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
So what happened?
the thing is, the original schools and hospitals were ran by religious institutions. They weren't ran by the
Right.
state. Yeah, they were
Thank
the
you.
original ones. The state took over for the church because you go all the way back to Egypt, right? The schools were ran by priests. It wasn't run by the state.
That's why I say the power. I say
Hmm.
the power is in our religious institution only because people are sitting still at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock every Sunday
Hmm.
morning. Millions of people are held at attention at a place they can do some good.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not picking on the churches.
And we
Not
have
at
to go.
all.
We have to go back to the original idea of what a tithe to a church was, okay? A tithe to a church is a tax on the people so that the church can go out and do things for the community, right? Like
Yeah.
schools, like look at West Angeles, right? The tithes allow them to build senior citizen homes and apartments and malls and businesses, right? So that the community could grow. That's what a tithe is for. A tithe is
Absolutely.
not so we can buy a private plane for the pastor. No, it's supposed to go in back into the community to do work. Like the church should own a hospital or should own a wellness center and should
Should
own
own apartment.
it
Should own apartment. All
should
these
own apartments.
apartments,
It
yeah,
should be
that you
bought by
see
church.
going up
Yes,
now in LA,
yes,
that should
yes.
be owned by the
It be,
church.
because it's community money where for people where people with jobs and money come together to actually come out and improve the community. That's what it's there for. But we don't focus on that anymore as we should. The government's going to take care of it or private investors going to take care of blah blah. No, that got to remember the church money is your money. It's the community money. That's what it's. We need to get back to that focus. That's where the church lost its power. It's because it didn't do the work that it used to do. That, in my
We
opinion,
always,
I could be wrong.
yeah, we always want somebody else to take care of something.
Yes, yes.
If God take it, that's why every time I hear them sing that song, Jesus will fix it. I get mad. We need some new songs. Stop singing all that. Jesus
Yeah,
will fix it after a while. When are you gonna do something? And some
yeah.
people, y'all know what I'm saying. I want them to stop some of these songs I hear them singing in the church. Jesus will fix it. You need to fix something. He give you the strength. He give you the knowledge
Yeah, yeah.
for you to fix it. Y'all want him to come down and do everything for you.
It's
We
no
got to
different.
do it for ourselves.
It's no different. The government does not have money. The government has your money, and it focuses on how to improve your life. That's what it's there for. That's what taxes are for.
Mm-hmm.
That's what sales taxes are for. It's not to just collect your money and hold it someplace else. Because once they kind of take their little bit off the top. The thing is it's supposed to go back into the community, actually improve the community. Same thing for a church. The church used to collect the taxes. That was their job. The tithes were taxes on the people to improve the community, roads and apartment buildings and schools. There should be counseling centers. There should be we should hire psychiatrists and whatever we need. Okay,
Should have a computer center, making
center
sure everybody's
everything,
computer.
literally, yes, because
Yes, we have
that is their
something
job.
on the board.
Okay.
It said the letter to the legislators should specifically say Proposition 58 and 193 must be reinstated. Proposition 19 strip these family tax protection from California.
Yep.
Absolutely. And if those who want to write letters, let me give you my phone number and email. Phone number is 323-750-3592. 323-750-3592. You can email me at innerlightradio No, I'm sorry. I'm giving the wrong. That's not mine. Is Dr. Rosie. Rosie. Shut up, Shawannah. You gonna get old too. Keep on living. I'm sick of you, family.
With that C class, huh?
DRROSIE@AOL.com. Dr.
That's
No
Dr. Rosie.
period. DRROSIE@AOL.com. Come on, you guys. We gotta get letters out. We're the last people who we elect people and they don't hear from us until they come back to re-election. They tell me they don't ever get letters harder from black folks. What's wrong with you all?
Yeah.
Maybe y'all need to come to Black
That's
Writers
the
on
problem.
Tour
We need to do it.
and,
I mean,
teach you how to write.
you probably
Right.
teach you how to
People
write.
that want to learn how to write, come to the Black Writers on Tour for sure.
That's
I-
right.
Anybody that
You
has a
wanna
book
learn-
in them, come to Black Writers on Tour for sure.
Absolutely.
That's our new slogan.
I mean, we should be. I mean, every politician. I don't care how high or low they are, have assistants. Those assistants have phones, right? They have phone numbers, right?
Yeah.
You can text them every hour with your concern.
That's what
Mhm.
we're going to put that campaign. Shawannah, you're going to have to help me with that campaign because we got to turn this around.
Yes.
We get all
Oh, no,
them
we,
phone
oh, my
numbers.
God. Do we have
And
to?
guess
It's
what?
like a must.
If they
And
don't,
it doesn't do it to husband and wife, but children, you're leaving it for your kids or your
Yeah.
grandkids. You're leaving it for them.
Yeah.
So definitely we have to
Absolutely.
do it. But I want to share with everybody, too, about Black Writers on Tour a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
I had a book in me all my life. I had a book. I was 30 years old, and I wanted to write a book. I wrote a book a little bit, but I finished it, and then I lost it. And I still had that book idea inside of me that I wanted to write a book. I know some of you out there that are listening to me right now have that same feeling. You want to write a book. I want to tell you, I remember the day I met Dr. Rosie.
Mm-hmm.
It was Dr. Rosie that encouraged me, that showed me. And listen, I've written 3 or 4 books already. So get one on Dr. Rosie's Black Writers on Tour. It's the best thing that could ever happen. You can change your life. There's digital products that's out there learning how to write a book. There's things that you can make money without even trying once you learn how to write your book. So come to Black Writers on Tour because it's absolutely an amazing, you'll have an amazing time. You'll learn a lot of things, and we'll also be supporting each other. So I wanted to
Wow,
put that
you
out
guys,
there.
I paid her for that commercial. I'm going to take my money back. I paid
And
her.
I didn't get paid for that.
She
I
chased
know,
you.
I
She
appreciate
chased you. She chased you down till you wrote that book, didn't she? She didn't let up, did she?
No,
I got that book done within 9 months. She told me, she said, Shawannah, you're going to do it. And she
I told
showed
her.
me everything.
I said, if you don't deliver, I'm going to do C-section.
Mm-mm.
Okay, you guys.
Mhm.
We have a caller at 626. Caller, go ahead. Last number 2029. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Caller.
Caller from 626.
Caller.
Caller, we calling for you. This show is going to re-air at 6 o'clock p.m. You can go to innerlightradio.com. That's innerlightradio.com. This show's going to re-air. Caller, open your mic. You're holding. I think you wanted to make a comment before we get up out of here. We certainly want to hear what you have to say. That's the last number. Go ahead. Okay. All right. Ricky, you have some parting words. We're getting ready to sign off. What do you want to leave with the folks?
Yes, I just want to say that we have to just not give up and continue to encourage, impress upon our young people the importance of, leaving a legacy and building into your future, because whatever you put into it, that's what you're going to get out. And we should just continue to encourage and set the example, continue to expose, continue to enlighten, just continue to just be. And then most importantly, we have to continue to pray for our people. We got to pray for our generations to come. We got to pray for the present generation. We have to not stop praying, because at some point our hearts and our minds are going to sync and link up. The younger people, they have an opportunity to have a chance, but we have to just continue to pray and continue to be hopeful and continue to demonstrate. And then over a period of time, it's going to rub off.
Wow. Wow. Well, you know what I'm going to say. All of you out there listening, you all know what the community needs. You know what they need to do. You're sitting in church, and if they're not on the way, they're in the way. So if the members would decide, unless we make a move to do something different, we're going to hold our tithes for 1 month and put it in escrow. I know I won't get in the church now. I just cut my neck, didn't I?
Yeah, you're going to be on wanted poster. Don't let her in here.
I can't take it back. You know, one thing about words, that's why I tell kids, be careful what you say, because once words go out there, you can't take it back. But real serious. See, a lot of people want to blame the pastor. I don't blame the pastor. Because he's one person. But you got 200 and 1,000 sitting in that audience. So somebody in the audience ought to have some sense, ought to have some wisdom, ought to have something to say. Because I believe some of the ministers would do better if they had a church.
They don't have a choice.
That knew how to do better and would bring things to their attention, things they may have never thought about. You know you need a computer to send in that church. You know half of the members is computer illiterate. You know there's people that who can't read and write. So is the pastor supposed to know all that? No. It's up on the membership, you guys. So it's not, everything is not on the pastor. We have a responsibility also. Keith, what you want to say signing off?
I'll say signing off, basically, people think it's a legacy. No, it's about your survival right now. It has nothing to do with you. Your legacy, worrying about your legacy is in the future, right? You holding your enclave together, holding your center together, holding your base together is about your survival right now. Because if you do not, especially in Los Angeles, you will not be able to live here. If you want to live here, you got to get your like I say, your boots on the ground. The song going right now. You better get your boots on the ground right now.
Absolutely. Shawannah, would your announcement sign off, or you want to tell them something?
Yeah, of course.
Get them
I
out
want
of
to
here.
say something too. I want to say something too. Black Wall Street was formed by a gentleman named O.W. Gurley. He was a black landowner. He bought some property out in Arkansas, 40 acres of land in Tulsa, and then he sold it to other black people. And those black people was attorneys, hotel people, everybody. It's going to take us coming together, being as one, saying, you know what, no more. I'm going to buy properties. We're going to support each other, and we're going to stick together. But that's what it's going to take in order to create something big, create something that we want. And we got to stop bickering about what we don't have, and we have to create what we want. If we want it, we have to go after it. And we have to go after it with a commitment, with daily action steps, and doing it on purpose. That's it.
Absolutely.
I just want to say that.
Well, I want to say I'm waiting for Trump to make it to bring back segregation. That's what I'm waiting for.
Segregation.
Yep. Then when you can't go nowhere else, then you'll have to come to my store, okay? Take us back. That's what I'm waiting on.
They work too hard to integrate you. You're not going to segregate you. That's not going to happen. Okay?
It's not going to happen, Keith?
No, it's not going to happen. If that was the case, they'd have left you where you were. They wouldn't try to bust up the black enclave.
Well, okay, I'm going to get me an army of people, and every time I see black folks going into business other than black folks, I'm going to be standing outside with a baseball bat. So y'all get some what you call it, post-bail money. Because by any means necessary, these black folk gonna start doing better. Shawannah, would you bail me out? Would you bail me out, Shawannah?
You need property too, so I'll help you, Dr. Rosie.
This generation of black folks is looking to segregate. They're begging to segregate now. You don't have to push them very far. They're begging to segregate.
You don't need to segregate now. I'm like Dr. Anderson. This ain't the time to segregate. You should segregate when you had something. You don't need to segregate with nothing. You at the bottom. Now, see, y'all making my dandruff rise again. We at the bottom of the bottom. This ain't no time to segregate. It's time to aggregate.
So the black jelly beans need to move up toward the top of the jar instead of the bottom, huh?
But those are my favorite. Right. I be going all the way underneath there trying to get those.
But you guys,
how do I know you're going to say
that? The technicians have allowed us to go a little over time. You guys, we getting up out of here. Remember what everybody had to say. And you guys go make a change. Make a change in your community, in your church, in your school. Get involved. Don't just sit back. You hear me doing a lot of talking about it, but I'm being about it too, okay? Now don't get it twisted. I'm not just sitting up here talking.
Dr. Rosie. Dr.
Yeah.
Rosie, I want to put out there with everybody that I am black and I will buy your property.
Oh, no, you did not just do that.
You know you ain't right. You ain't right, dog. You need to go to church. You need to be saved.
No,
you need to be baptized.
Honestly, listen, I am black, and I would love us to get together, come together as one, and help, and I will help you guys. We can buy property together as a team for those that want to come together as a team so that we can really form something. I said that to get your attention. I knew I would. So check out either Dr. Rosie or myself. My number is 818-201-6565, 818-201-6565. We are here, and we only can do it as a team. It takes teamwork to make the dream work.
All right, you guys, they're telling me that we got to close. We went over time, but thank you. I'll see you guys next week. Y'all know where to come back to. Same time, same place.